We are live.
Okay.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Cash Rules Everything Around Me, where we discuss financial fundamentals in plain English. I'm Shadidi Laser, and business funding is one of the most misunderstood aspects of business ownership. In our grandfather's era, we would go to the bank with a 75-page business plan with projections for the next 15 years in the hopes that we would get approved. In today's world, there's numerous ways to start a business, low cost to very little to no cost. And there's at least 1,000 alternative funding sources, but knowing where to go is often a struggle. Now, in this particular segment, which is a live Q&A, we have business funding expert, Mr. Ron Garnett, that is here to demystify your questions, your comments, your concerns regarding funding, business credit, access to capital. But first, this broadcast is brought to you by Lois Koffi's Monetize and Magnetize Summit, where on October 7th through 9th, you will learn the art, the science of finding your niche and monetizing it from 27 speakers and experts from around the world. Please go to www.monetizeandmagnetize.com and look at the link in the description for more details. Again, that is Lois Koffi's Summit on October the 7th through 9th. Because you are a member of the tribe, you get a complimentary ticket on behalf of Mr. Ron Garnett and I. Now, let's transition into this live Q&A. How are you, Ron?
I'm fine. How are you?
Feel good, feel good. Okay, so what I did before this session is I polled my audience over the course of the last 3 days. And so my inbox was, it looked like a Santa Claus bag of different questions
Okay.
and comments and concerns from my audience, many of which are professionals who are looking to start a business. You have freelancers who are looking to bring on employees and they're struggling. You have people who are, full-blown business owners, staff, payroll, and they're looking to find ways to expand. And so the first question from the mailbag that I have is, can you please explain trade lines and how they relate to business credit?
Okay. Well, trade lines are where a business will have a relationship with another business where they will actually give you maybe products, basic products or equipment, and you pay for them later because it's a direct relationship between you and another business. Now, generally, with a trade line, they look more at your business credit and your personal credit, maybe equally. But they look at your business credit too, and that would be your Dun score, the Dun and Bradstreet score. So that is how a lot of businesses, will get equipment or products or whatever, and they will have a relationship where they have a credit with another business, a supplier normally. So
Excellent.
It's very important to cultivate these relationships because even if you do have issues with your personal credit, your business may be able to survive because you can get your supplies or your necessary equipment from a wholesaler supply company.
Okay, excellent. So another question that came about. So the question is, if I'm just getting started, do I need good credit to establish business credit?
No, not necessarily. What you would need to do is first get a Dun and Bradstreet number, get registered, and be careful when you apply for this. There are many options available. Try the free one, because Dun and Bradstreet is a business, and they will try and sell you on a $1,500 membership or a $500 membership, but there's a free one. That's all you need. And remember, this free one monitors what your business does, whether you have people suing you, delinquencies, and things such as that. And going back to your first question about trade lines, other businesses will look at that equally with your personal credit, so that if your business does not have any debt, then your business can get, trade lines. But you start with a Dun and Bradstreet number, get registered, register your business, and that will build up your business credit. But it's separate from your personal credit, though.
Okay, so this question, and I know this lady, she's built quite a impressive business, but she says that she admits that she relied on personal funds and bootstrapping when she launched her business, as well as savings, and she didn't understand the power of funding when she first started out. So can you explain what doors and opportunities can open up if you have funding at your disposal?
Well, sure. Now, if you're a startup company, chances are very, 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 very good, probably 90% or more, you will not get funding for a business if you're a startup. It's been my experience that a financial institution like a bank or so will want 2 years of business deposits, collateral, and whatever. If you're a startup, you don't have any of those. You're walking in saying, trust me. I think most of those loan programs went away in the early 2000s. They certainly went away in 2008 with the financial crisis. So you should look at a funding source in the alternative finance market who will give you credit or money based on your credit score, your credit history, and how much income you have. And we're looking at uncollateralized money, so that this money will come in and it is deposited into your account with no strings attached. Now, it's very important that you keep your collateral kind of free, so that in case you do have to use it for something, it is not tied up with one funding source. But even if you have collateral, generally a financial institution such as a bank will not give you startup money. Now, people start off using credit cards and personal savings. Well, with credit cards, the interest rate is going to be twice what it is with a signature loan. Signature loans, interest rates run around 7 to 10%, 12% if you're challenged. Credit cards are going to be 19, 20%. And the interest really, kills you. So even though it's convenient, you're better off trying to get an unsecured signature loan. You get more money out of it, and you don't have this crushing credit debt hidden behind the scenes waiting to crush you. Because if you spend like $30,000, $40,000, if you get that much on credit cards, normally you can't. You're never going to pay that off with the interest rates unless you just are paying extreme, high payments. So it's always better, in my opinion, to use someone else's money to build your business. And it's always better to get the money, pay it off, and build your credit background and history. so that you can go to a financial institution, say after 3 or 4 years, and say, I had the signature loan. I paid it off in 5 years. I had it for 7. I paid it for 5 years. You have a track record then. So you're walking in there with some history. And that is super valuable. You can't really get around that if you got a credit history where you've paid it off on time or maybe early. But in dealing with credit, pay it off not too fast. Show a long history of payments on a consistent basis. That helps your credit score more than anything.
I have a good question here. And this is regarding business checking accounts and just general accounting and bookkeeping. So a question goes, I have a business checking account, but I do not actively use my account for transactions, sales, so on and so forth. Can you please explain why I should, as I get ready to obtain funding to grow my business?
Well, it's your history. If you got a business checking account and you don't use it, you might be personally making $100,000. If it goes into your personal account and your business account says you make $1,000, to a creditor, someone trying to lend you money, you made $1,000. You should run all of your money through a business checking account. Every cent you make, because that is what is going to be looked at as to how profitable your business is. If you are self-employed, for example, and you make $100,000, but you put in your pocket and don't really run it through your business account to the outside world or a lender, you didn't make anything. And even if you say the money is in my personal account, they can't verify that because anybody could put money in your personal account. I've had a client who had a business checking account and I could never convince him to run his money through his business account versus his personal account. And he says, well, I got money in my account. I said, yes, but your wife's name is on that too. It's a joint account. How can anybody determine what's your money as opposed to your wife's money if you're trying to get a business loan? You can never show how profitable your business is if you don't have the records. A number of people will say, well, my business makes this, but if you can't prove it, you don't make it. I mean, that's just how simple it is.
Okay, another good question. I saw a YouTube video where a expert said that I can have access to $1 million in business credit and trade lines. I'm not saying that I'm ready for that, but what does a business need to look like in order to gain access to large sums of business credit limits?
Well, you need a history, first of all. The devil is in the details, okay? It's, say like if you can get access to $1 million, but what are the requirements? Nobody just gives you $1 million worth of credit without looking at the details. It's like to get funding, you normally need a source of income that's verifiable, either a W-2 form or a 1099 or a tax record if you're self-employed. Now, if you're self-employed, your income is what you say it is. If you make $100,000, but you take so many deductions, you say, well, I made $5,000, so I don't have to pay taxes. To a lender, you made $5,000. You don't qualify for funding with a $5,000 loan. You're not going to get $1 million worth of anything for $5,000 because lenders or creditors or whatever don't want collateral. They don't want anything. They want to get paid back with interest. So you need a credible, reliable, verifiable source of income. It's been my experience, you need at least $30,000 to even get in the door. In the door with $30,000, you might qualify generally for like maybe $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 worth of credit. Now, your business for its trade lines, depending on what kind of supplies you need, you might qualify for more, but that's a turnover type of effect where you are buying products and you sell them and paying it back. I would be very wary about signing for anything like that unless I know the details. It's just like let's go to a grocery store and they say, all right, $1 a pound. $1 a pound of what? It could be horse feet, could be chicken feet, could be anything, could be rat poison. You don't know what it is. So you don't get lured in by things like lost leaders. That's what I call them. Where you get into a process, then you find out, oh, you don't qualify for this plan, but we got another plan out here that you do qualify for, but the interest rate is sky high, and you don't get $1 million. You're getting like $30,000, $40,000 or less. Okay. So be vigilant. Be vigilant. That's all I can say.
Now, with this question, it is, I have some credit mistakes that I made in the past. What's my minimum credit score that I need to reach in order to have a serious chance of increasing my funding opportunities?
Okay. First of all, if you got credit mistakes in your past, take your punishment, okay? By that, I mean, before you apply for funding, go to a legitimate credit monitoring service and get your reports on all 3 credit bureaus. There are several out there. I'm not recommending one or the other, but I would say that if somebody gives you just 1 or 2, that's not a good monitoring service for you. You need all 3. That's going to give you everything. If you have any collections on there, take care of those collections before you apply for credit, okay? Because it only delays the process. Even if you have a good credit score and you got people hounding you because you haven't paid them, it looks bad for you. If you pay them off, and it normally takes about 30 days or more for the collections to register on your credit report. Now, generally, it depends on the type of credit you're looking for. I'm a broker, so I have relationships with various people. I have a program that if you have a clean record, 620 and above will qualify you, in a $30,000 income will qualify you. I also have a company that has a startup program. So you're looking at 580 or so, but you still need the $30,000 income. You can get some funding, not as much as you could get if you're in the high 6s, but you won't just get turned down. And you could probably get up to maybe $30,000 or $40,000, $50,000 is the max. But sometimes you'll need like 10 or 15,000. So take care of the collections first, see where you stand, pay those off, get those off your credit, then you can apply and you could get unsecured credit in some amount. The lowest that I've ever seen one is like $550, but you don't get a whole lot of money out of that. It's like they are saying, well, we'll give you something, but not a lot. So generally, 580 is a good benchmark for on the lower end. But if you got open collections, you need to get those taken care of before you apply for credit.
Excellent.
Also, one other thing, you normally need to have proof that you're going to pay people back. So 3 trade lines will help. A trade line might be buying a car, paying for a house, maybe 1 credit card that's not maxed out. Those are 3 trade lines. And if you're paying on those regularly, that will help too. But it's required, actually, though.
Okay. So once again, this broadcast has been brought to you by the Manifest and Monetize Summit taking place October 7th through October 9th. Now, as we transition to bringing this plane to a landing, are there any final thoughts that you have for the audience regarding business credit, funding, any final tips or thoughts?
Well, first of all, people are looking for a windfall. It just doesn't happen like that. Nothing worth achieving just comes like that. First of all, look at it as a long-term process, and you may have to do some things to get yourself ready for apply for funding. But in the alternative finance market, you can get the money if you're willing to do the work and pay the price is what's necessary. Generally, it's cleaning up collections, getting your paperwork together, filing your taxes, and making yourself presentable to a funder. Remember, it's not how you see yourself, it's how they see you. So when you look in the mirror, you see one face, but that may not be the face that everybody else sees. But don't give up. You can get funding. I've gotten people funding who says, you know, I'm not in good shape right now. I'm going to take a little bit and build it up over the years. But if you're willing to do the work, you can get it done. Just like college. You don't walk in as a freshman, take your first class and walk out with a degree in 6 months or 3 months. It might take you 4 or 5 long, hard years of work to get it, but it's worth something. It won't take you that long to get credit, but you got to do something to get the credit and be willing to pay the price and really the work. I mean, a lot of people say they want to be in business, but they want the perks, but don't want to pay the price. Like a lot of people want a lot of things, but they don't want to pay the price necessary to reach the level where they want to be.
Excellent. Now, for those of you who want to take what you've learned in this live Q&A and get some specific one-on-one time about your business idea, the business you currently own, or steps to leverage funding to take it to the next step, Mr. Ron Garnett has a strategy call that you can access at bit.ly/funding strategy call. It is bit.ly/funding strategy call. Now, there is a cost for the strategy call, but if you think about an investment that can unlock thousands of dollars to help you grow your business, and you also consider that the reason why the majority of businesses close their doors is due to lack of access to capital, then you realize that the right information can keep you in business, allow you to tread water long enough, especially during these times, in order to stay afloat. So bit.ly/funding strategy call. You've been tuning in to Cash Rules, everything around me, where we discuss financial fundamentals in plain English. On behalf of Ron Garnett, I'm Shadidi Laser. Thank you for tuning in.
Okay. Thank you.